Tom Bloomfield reporting at the NUJ DM 2012, and I'm here with Mr. John Hendy, who represented the NUJ at the Leveson Enquiry this past year and cross-examined Rupert Murdoch. Mr. Hendy, I just wanted to know, basically, just a brief overview of the NUJ's role at the Leveson Enquiry across the 4 stages of the inquiry itself.
Well, the most important task for the NUJ was to get the voices of journalists heard. That was the key thing. Because the inquiry itself was full of all the employers and the owners and so on, and without the NUJ's presence, Lord Justice Leveson would only have heard from the celebrities whose phones had been hacked and so on, and the news organisations. So the NUJ's task was to try and present to Lord Justice Leveson what actually happens in the newsrooms and so on, and how the journalists are treated.
Okay, and I'll just ask you, what do you hope that will come out of the Leveson Enquiry as a whole?
Well, obviously, what the case that the NUJ was put in is what the NUJ have articulated. I mean, I know the Ethics Council took a long time to decide exactly how they were going to frame the particular demands over press regulation and things like the conscience clause and so on have been very long standing in the NUJ. So my job really was just to make sure that the NUJ's voice over those matters that the NUJ had decided were important would be put forward. And I think there's every prospect that, well, certainly Lord Justice Leveson will listen very carefully to what the NUJ was saying, and I think a lot of that will be reflected in the final report.
And finally, just as what I touched on earlier, you did obviously get a chance to cross-examine Rupert Murdoch. What was that like as an experience, and was it? Did you get what you hoped that you went there for?
I think we did. It's because of the procedure of the inquiries. You don't get the opportunity to cross-examine unless the counsel to the inquiry has decided not to ask the questions that you want to ask, and then you have to apply for permission to ask the questions. So we were very constrained. I think, indeed, I think that we were the only people that cross-examined any witness at Leveson. So we were very constrained, both in terms of time and the questions that we were permitted to ask. But I thought that, generally speaking, we got answers that certainly showed what the attitude of Murdoch and the News International organisation was.
Mr. Hendy, thank you very much. So, as always, the NUJ will manage to have their voice heard, and if we can have it as a big inquiry such as Leveson, it's important that in the future the NUJ will continue to prosper and continue to make their voice heard. This is Tom Bloomfield reporting from the NUJ DM 2012.